In an era of unparalleled peace and prosperity, soldiers train under serene skies, preparing for simulated battles against imaginary foes. However, this period of tranquility may soon end, requiring them to engage in real conflicts in the tumultuous South China Sea. Their mission will be critical, defending U.S. interests and preventing China's dominance across the Pacific. Failure in the South China Sea would severely diminish U.S. control over the Pacific and undermine its global influence. Before we dive into the main content, please like the video and subscribe to our channel to support our future releases. Now let's delve into the main discussion. During the Cold War, the U.S. introduced the domino theory, viewing Southeast Asia as a key checkpoint to halt the spread of communism from China and the Soviet Union, which threatened the capitalist world led by the U.S. Consequently, the South China Sea and Southeast Asia became strategic focal points, especially with the regime the U.S. established in South Vietnam. However, by the 1970s, the U.S. shifted its focus to the Middle East after forming an alliance with China against the Soviet Union, thus downplaying the significance of the South China Sea for a time. By the 2000s, China had emerged as the sole competitor capable of challenging the U.S. in all spheres. Consequently, the South China Sea and Southeast Asia have once again become battlegrounds for the world's two most formidable powers, a declining superpower and a rising one with ambitions to reshape the global order. The South China Sea is currently the second busiest international shipping route, following the Mediterranean, playing a crucial role for East Asia and the world. China has consistently asserted unreasonable territorial claims in this region, encroaching on the territorial waters and exclusive economic zones of Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia. China also uses the South China Sea for trade with countries where it has resource exploitation rights, like the Indian Ocean and West Africa. The expansion of China's influence touches upon the core interests of the U.S., the world's most comprehensive power. Things became more complicated after 2011 when President Barack Obama announced the Pivot to Asia strategy. This strategy's main pillars are: 1. Strengthening relationships with traditional allies like Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, Thailand, and Australia. 2. Enhancing ties with emerging major powers such as India, Indonesia, and Singapore. 3. Actively participating in regional structures like the East Asia Summit, APEC, and the ASEAN Regional Forum. The most important goal of the Pivot to Asia strategy is to ensure the maintenance of U.S. leadership in the face of rapidly changing global dynamics, with issues surrounding China's rise being prioritized. Until now, the strongest power in East Asia remains the most troublesome opponent for the U.S. The People's Republic of China is also the only country capable of simultaneously combining economic, diplomatic, military, and technological power to pose a serious and long-term challenge to the U.S.-led international system. The U.S. itself is fully aware of this issue. However, due to the interests of some domestic corporations, they have reacted very slowly. It wasn't until the Trump administration and later Joe Biden that the U.S. truly approached China as its top and fiercest competitor. In Southeast Asia, the U.S. has alliances with the Philippines and significant partnerships with Singapore and Indonesia, countries also conflicting with China. This confrontation involves both superpowers. China seeks to push the U.S. out to consolidate its sovereignty claims, while the U.S. maintains military bases in the Philippines as a security barrier against China. Several planned overseas military bases for the Chinese military, like those in the Solomon Islands, Sri Lanka, Djibouti, Angola, and Equatorial Guinea, require passage through the South China Sea. Despite commitments in Ukraine and Israel, the U.S. dedicates substantial resources to counter China's ambitions in the South China Sea. To counter China, the U.S. has devised a comprehensive plan involving allies and partners. Fearing unification by Beijing through military means, Taiwan aligns closely with the U.S. Taiwan focuses on bolstering its military capabilities, as seen in its exercises on Ba Bin Island, contested by China and Vietnam. The U.S., while not officially acknowledging Taiwan's claims, secretly supports it to counter China in the South China Sea. The U.S. also leverages stronger allies with direct stakes in the South China Sea, like Japan, the Philippines, and Australia. Joint military exercises like those conducted in April 2024 highlight this cooperation. These countries, sharing conflicts with China, support U.S. strategies to limit China's influence in the region. The U.S. strategy includes strengthening bilateral alliances and enhancing military cooperation with countries like South Korea and Vietnam. The U.S. has inspected Cam Ranh port in Vietnam to promote the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework and support Vietnam's maritime rights. Strengthening military presence in the South China Sea, as demonstrated by deploying B-2 bombers to Guam, underscores the U.S. commitment to protecting its interests. The U.S. plans to upgrade military bases in the Pacific, including those in Guam, the Philippines, and Australia, to support naval and air force operations. These efforts aim to deter China's ambitions and maintain regional stability. Despite challenges, the U.S. remains determined to protect its interests in the South China Sea through a clear strategy, alliances, and military presence. These measures are crucial for curbing China's influence and maintaining regional stability. However, these are just inferences based on the information we have collected. What are your views? Please leave a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.